like peel the layers of this and really understand how this is playing out in organizations. And I know that in some organizations, the journey could be more mature. In most, it is right now at its infancy. But I think no change was brought without the thinkers. And I think this group, as a cohort, I would consider it as a group of thinkers who are trying to anticipate what the future could hold and how we are making it real. So, on that note, I first want to open the conversation up with MVN, right? So, MVN, I want to go to you to really say, what are examples? What are examples that you're seeing today of AI being used effectively or efficiently in the whole learning journey?
Thanks, Umesh. Good morning. Uh, I'll just first talk about a little bit about L&D and then we talk about
Sure,
AI because
sure.
L&D has been around for a long time before and AI has come in between. And most of us know as a development professionals, there are 2, 3 roles which we perform in organizations. One role is about learning designer. That is, you
Yep.
design learning experiences for the people so that the necessary learning takes place for the people. The second one is learning management. That is where you all do the learning managers work and then do the planning, coordination, and the entire partnering kind of a work. And the third portion, how many of us do that? I think we need to really look at it. That is basically delivering the learning experience. That is one portion of the job. If you look at the learning and development roles that are there, each one of these roles uh, has been impacted by AI to some level or the other, but each one, I think we need to look at it from that dimension. But as a large corporate, what we have realized, I mean, of course, I think I just give a little example because others also here we will talk about that. We realize that AI, if you look at all the learning landscape itself in an organization, big organization like ours, we realize that there is the learning of mandatory learning which we give to the people, then the technical learning, plenty of it which we do in all our engineering academies, and behavioral and the leadership learning which we do, and the digital learning which has also taken root in the last 2 decades or 1.5 decades or so. But in fact, if you really look at it, the application of AI, the earliest, is seen mostly in the digital learning space. And to a large extent, if I see the use cases inside our own organization, while ChatGPT came about a year and a half back, automation and learning design and learning analysis and insights have been around for quite some time. And you will go back and look at this particular aspect of it. The content providers have significantly used AI. I think in terms of actually, most of us know that. I think the recommendation engines, which based on the assessments you take, I think the recommendation engine suggests what kind of a learning path, what kind of learning you need to be doing, which we talk about it. The users have used that. In the past, as a learning partner, what I used to do, if somebody comes and tells me my colleague is not able to speak, he's not able to work well with the people, I used to do some basic research. I used to go and find out what kind of a learning he or she should do. But now I realize that I can go and check with the engine and then kindly find out what is the first level of work that I can actually do with that, and then take the additional wisdom which I possess with respect to what works and what doesn't work, and then take it to the people concerned as a learning partner and a learning insight kind of a story. But if you really look at it, the AI early users and the early cases which I see, even with assessment, the quizzes, or the personalized learning path, the recommendation engine, the online course builders, the online coach bots, all these things have come through the content providers which we are using significantly in our digital learning space as I see it. In the other part of it, the instructors using it, I think it is too nascent as I see it. Very few people I've seen actually use a significant amount of AI. Maybe while designing the course, they may be using a little bit of AI in the background to come to drafting that particular course content or so on and so forth. But actually delivering of the entire course, I think still some distance to go. I'm sure as we deliberate today, maybe we'll find more options where we can use it and so on and so forth.
Sure, MVN. Thank you for that. And I think, like you rightly said, right, a lot's been done, is being done by content creators. But I think with instructors right now, relative nascency. Coming to you, Sonia, what are you seeing as usage of AI enabling in an instructor world?
So I come from the IT world where change has always been a constant, right? Because in IT, the skills get redundant at a very fast pace. So, and there was a time where C++ was God. There was a time that Java became like, if you knew Java, you could have it all. And lately, if you see, Python, R are ruling the roost. So, in some of these environments, I have found that AI can add exceptionally good value in terms of, upskilling people, reskilling people as far as skills are concerned. And I think some of the existing, right, you see Coursera, you see Duolingo. We had people who needed to work with, let's say, Japanese clients. So we needed to train people on Japanese. So Duolingo actually helped us understand, do live simulations. And one way I found AI really helped, we are always a little skeptical. We are human beings. Somebody else calls out our mistakes. We always ascribe motives, intent, all of it. But if it's through a machine saying you could have said this differently, I think
Less threatening.
less threatening and more receptive. So in some of these areas, AI has actually helped upskill the game for a lot of people. But I'll also call it out that it's not universal. So, AI is not, it's not a need of the hour for everybody. We still need the instructors on the shop floor who help people scale, right? We will still need all of that coming in because, as Unmesh said, right, AI can help us with a lot of administrative tasks. It can help us in some ways position the learning, getting the feedback loop, even for instructors. So even when we had instructors, we used the same methodology to, give feedback where the sessions were recorded. It was run through an AI algorithm prompt to get feedback for the instructor of how you could have connected more, what kind of examples you could have used. So some of that has helped improve capability, but it's not, I would say, it's not universal for everybody. There will be businesses where you think traditional things work. I think we should still continue with that, but there are areas where AI can add exceptional value.
Thank you for that, Sonia. So we've gone from a brick and mortar manufacturing environment with tech to really talk about what happens in the tech services environment. Coming to you, Dr. Trivedi, right? You come from, your core is really around pharma, right? It's a very different world. Also has a fair amount of R&D and other elements, but also a lot of feet on the street. What do you see for an industry like that? How do you see that industry being enabled in its learning interventions through AI?
Good morning to all. Uh, Actually, I am core pharma person. Since 77, I worked all through in pharma industry only. So some of the point may be related to pharma, but I'll make it as a general. See, AI is what artificial intelligence. It is an artificial. The first name itself suggests it's an artificial. So a human intervention is required at any cost. Without human, first of all, how this was created, it was by a human being only. AI cannot create another AI. Human beings are required to create it. So human intervention at any level will be required. Now, when it comes to application of AI in pharma or even in anything, see, what we are developing is a modules for training the people. There, to get content, you can use the AI. However, the AI requires a data to be fed to that. And that, if you are having a less data, the output will be a less. Because AI nothing else but it propagates all the data and then gives you a core result. Now, for example, I want to look for a presentation of a L&D related subject. Only those which are fed to the AI platform, it will propagate and give. But I cannot get the overall total. For that, I have to even look into the other parts also. I may have to even contact my colleagues or my friends. So humans are always required for an AI platform to run. Second thing, see in pharma, this has become a mandatory that you should have a training and everything. And that's why there is even softwares are available like LMS, Learning Management System. Now that has also included AI into that. So AI cannot be neglected. As humans are also cannot be neglected, AI also cannot be neglected. So both are hand in hand, they are complementing each other and they are required for this. As I remember, in old days, we were just walking, then wheel was invented, then people started going by vehicles, now super jets and other things have come. So there is always evolution. So it helps the people to reach to their destinations or to reach to their desired place. Same way, AI is a new development. We should use it to complement our requirements. So AI is a complementing, but it is not a replacement of a human being. That's what I feel. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Trivedi. I think I just want to move the conversation further, right? So we talked about the fact that AI usage for content creation, we have experienced it, right? And like you rightly said, I want to peel the onion now a bit on the instructor AI interface component, right? And I know, like we rightly talked about, it is very much in the nascency. And therefore, I want us to wear our green hat or our thinking hats to say, what potentially do you see as the art of the possible, right? I'm a big believer of Tao, and Tao is nothing is best but basically in the flow of, right? And I believe that the best form of learning is learning that happens when you are in the flow of. Because in today's day and age, and the speed that things are moving, it's tad difficult to pull people away from what they're doing with the attention spans that we have, to take them away, train them, and the hope that what they have learned half the time focus on their phones or what's happening outside, they will retain that. So it needs to be in the flow of work. How many of you have used tools that allow you access to things in the moment? Anybody used Grammarly here? Anybody in the room use Grammarly? Now, those of you use Grammarly, and you're working on a Word document, right? You can write stuff, there's a spelling mistake, you will see a red thing happening, you'll have to correct that. But Grammarly gives you real-time options of how you could write the same thing. And that's the difference that I see, right? So one is